The Red and Blue Review is presented by the Winton Law Group and by the Kia Store, the Floor Store, the Bachman Auto Group, Home Run Burgers and Fries, and Sam Swope. If you love the Cats and the Cards, you found the right place. This is the Red and Blue Review, where we do UK and UL sports. And please say hello to the guys who know it better than anybody. And I don't know about you, but I'm feeling the love right now from a new and improved Howie Lindsay.
You know, it's a very peaceful week at the University of Louisville. It is actually declared no name-calling week, so we're all peaceful and friendly. You know, maybe those dorks over in Lexington should try something similar.
Well, what a smooth transition to Daryl Bird. I'm not going to get into the name-calling. I'll leave that up to you, Daryl.
Well, I've got something even better than just pitiful name-calling. You know, U of L fans want only the best for UK. We've known that for years. So they were probably celebrating. Look what Kemba Walker did to UK out in Maui. He lit them up. Wasn't that a lot of fun? Well, guess what? It's payback time. You get to go play Kemba Walker.
Kemba Walker is one of the many things we'll be talking about right now as we jump into our game time storylines. As we look ahead to Kentucky taking on Georgia, Louisville's playing at UConn. One of the items in which UConn is a cut above everybody else, Howie, is when it comes to shot blocking.
They are extremely good at it. I think there were 5 years straight where they led the country in blocked shots. They recruit to that system. They play extremely well in that system, and it's remarkable how often they funnel the opposing offense right into the lane and block the shot almost every time. You know, Peyton Siva's going to have to be very conscious of that going up at UConn.
Kentucky's opponent this weekend, the University of Georgia, a team against whom Kentucky's already beaten or gotten beaten by. Georgia's cut above in several different areas, Daryl. Let's take a look at it. Number one, these are SEC stats only: scoring offense, field goal percentage, three-point shooting, free throws, rebound on the defensive end, the margin of rebound advantage, and number one in assists.
Yeah, when you actually dig into the numbers, that really stunned me that these guys are that good. They're leading the categories. The ones that fans should really pay attention to, they are number one in field goal percentage, number one in free throw or in three-point percentage offensively. That's what UK does really well on the defensive side. They're up at the very top on field goal percentage defense and defending the three-pointer, so something's got to give in that mix.
Well, one of the things we like to do with this part of the show is look back to a great matchup between the two opponents. And how you decided not to look back too far when it comes to UConn and U of L?
There's not a whole lot of history between these two teams. I mean, they've really only played 9 times, something like that, and it's all been, you know, within the past 10 years or so. So look back last year, Sosa's game-winning shot, as he does so many times, he frustrated you throughout the entire game, and then he, you know, during Louisville's comeback in the second half, he makes the game-winning layup with 7 seconds left, and Louisville goes on to beat UConn. It's kind of been a back-and-forth matchup since these two teams started playing. I believe it's 5-4, 4-5, something like that.
UK History 101 against Georgia. Daryl, it wouldn't surprise anyone to know that Kentucky beat the University of Georgia 20-19, but not in basketball.
I could talk about this for the next hour. What fascinating. There was no NCAA. We're talking 1921. UK won 20-19 in the Southern Intercollegiate Athletic Association Championship game. No one had ever heard of UK, didn't pay much attention to them. They go out and win the game. Bill King, who scored 12 of the 20, was attempting to make a shot just as the official scorer fired his starter's pistol. That's how long ago it was. And true testimony to know where the Big Blue Nation comes from. The reports on that game, the arena was full, and several hundred UK fans were at the Phoenix Hotel in Atlanta receiving reports via telegraph, and the person who was taking the telegraph was shouting to the crowd, so-and-so just scored, this team scored, and it was a back-and-forth affair, beautifully written in 1920 newspapers, almost a Shakespearean style with all the very flowery adjectives. It's hilarious to go back and read, and it was a lot of fun to research, to go back that far for one of UK's earliest titles.
Well, we try to give fans a little hope by looking at their opponent's big loss this season, but Howie, we don't have much salve for U of L fans when UConn's biggest losses have been to two very good teams.
Normally it's like LaSalle or Rice or somebody like this. I mean, their worst loss is the number 8 RPI team, and that's Pittsburgh. UConn has not lost a lot, and you know, it's going to be tough this weekend. You know, the next 3 or 4 games for Louisville are all going to be extremely tough.
Well, the biggest loss for the University of Georgia really kind of piling up. They lost to Florida at home in double overtime this week, and then before that, they lost to Tennessee on a shot that Brian Williams hit that really should have been called a foul, but those are the biggest losses, DB.
It's the biggest loss, and you're right about the foul. It's the biggest loss because Georgia did not protect home turf, even on a controversial play. And in this league, you better take care of business at home and hope you steal a few on the road. And that's 2 games now Georgia's let go at Athens, and they just can't do that if they're going to win the SEC East, or more importantly, for tournament play, get one of those 2 byes so you don't have to play 4 games in 4 days.
Howie says the Bachman difference maker this week as the Cards hit the road for Storrs, Connecticut is going to be Gorgie Jang. He speaks 5 languages, but apparently one of those is not basketball. Patino says the freshman from Senegal can be a double-digit scorer for Louisville, but he's got a whole lot to learn.
You know, he like I said, he's going to be a very good basketball player someday. He's just right now physically too weak, not tough enough, and he's going to have to get tough with this team.
He's got to get tough in a hurry. He actually reminds me of the type of big centers that UConn had. Great shot blocker. He actually leads the conference right now in shot blocking, and very athletic. He's got a ton of upside. He's just not quite there yet. You hope that Gorgie catches on a little faster for the remaining 2 months of the season.
How in the world did Louisville lose to Providence? We'll talk about that when we come back, but as we head to the break, Howie, please tell us how to get a subscription to the Louisville Sports Report.
Great. Thanks for the opportunity. It's 502-636-4330. You can get your issue of the Louisville Sports Report magazine delivered to your doorstep anytime, every week.